Okay, so the first thing we're going to do today is set up the project correctly. I don't know if you guys have ever really been shown this or not. There are some good things to note, and they're really not very hard. So we'll just get to it. All you have to do to set your project or create a project is go to File, the Project window. Once you've created a project, you can just go to this Set Project. Okay, so we're going to go to Create Project, and then we want to click on the New button. We want to name it, but first I want to navigate to where I want it to be saved. So navigate to our class folder I created. And I'm going to navigate to inside my Maya projects folder. And I'm going to create a new directory called Flour Sack, or Midterm. Let's call it Midterm. Okay, so I have to create a new folder that way instead. Midterm. I'll select that, and then that is the new project. Let it also call that Midterm. I don't know, all of a sudden I'm confused. But basically, we'll do this. And so current project, mine is called Midterm, and this is the location that I want it to go to. And then I want all these folders to be in there by default. And we'll click Accept. And then just to make sure it's set up correctly, I like to go to my file browser and navigate to that location and go into Maya projects and then Midterm, and that I can see that it's populated with all these folders, so I know that the project is set up correctly. Okay, now I'd also like to discuss on how to save things correctly. You want to save incrementally. The best way to do that is just to go to your Save Scene options and then make sure that incremental save is checked. And what that will do, when you save a scene for this project, so let's say I create a cube, and then I save, it's going to automatically save to my scenes folder for that particular project. And I'll just call it cube. Save, and then continue. So I've got that saved. Now if I save again by pressing Control S, let's say I scale my box, and then I save it. Press Control S, continue, and now what's going to happen is, let me go to my file browser again. I go Maya Projects, Midterm, Scenes. Now I've got a cube.ma, that's the original, that's my most recent version. And I have an incremental save for the cube.ma. And that inside of it has a MA file also called cube, and it's numerically incremented. Okay, so the higher the number is, the further along that save is. Okay, so it saves versions for me. Now there's a better method to this, and that's the automatic version. The better method actually is to save as every time you need to save, and then be very specific on what it is you've accomplished So use your file name that you would normally. So I could say like cube, and I would say underscore. I scaled it. That's almost comical at this stage. But if we had been doing a lot of really hard work on our rig, it would be nice to know without having to open each file what was accomplished in that file. Okay, and so in this way, by only using save as, you can always label the file according to what you've done, and you'll have a backlog of all the good stuff that you've accomplished. And if you find out that you've gone down the wrong road for a while, which is quite possible in rigging, then you will be able to go back to an older version of your file, and just by reading the file name, you can know how far back you've gone, and without too much effort anyway. So that's saving wisely and setting up your project. Now, I won't do this very often, but if I wanted to set a project, all I would have to do is go to set project. You may have to do this every single time you open Maya. So to do that, all you have to do is navigate to the project folder and then select it and then click set. And then whenever you save, Control S or Control Shift S, it's going to save to that scenes folder of that particular project. So you can set your project multiple times during your process if you're working on different projects at a time. Now, with that being said, the way it works in industry is that the project very literally is the entire film. And so they come up with some really fancy, project organization sort of stuff. And because, quite literally, they will have hundreds of thousands of files before the project is ended, and they all need to be organized so that they can be found easily. Now, one last thing I'd like to include in this little tutorial is just to comment on backing up. Now, incremental saving is not the same as backing up. Backing up is saving in multiple locations. It seems to happen every single semester that at least one student will lose their work because of a bad hard drive, or their flash drive got run over, or whatever happens, it happens. So as stated in the syllabus, I'm not responsible for your lost work. So back up every time you're done. So for each day, you should back up all the work to a different location. And that way, if something does happen, then you've got the backup. So back up.